chat. People like, put the fries in the bag. Put the fries in the bag, Boogie. Put the fries in the bag, Keem. Just shut up. Continue on with the show. Just like how we need to shut up and just talk about World of T-shirts. So Joshua Block gets told to put the fries in the bag right outside of the LA airport.
Hell yeah.
The fries in the bag.
We still at. All right, we're at 1xp. All right. You can see it?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. This is funny. Chips.gg, and he's talking about putting fries in the bag. They're both fried potato products that we're talking about putting in the bag, right?
Put the fries in the bag.
You're a fucking bitch! I'm gonna get you!
Where is he running to?
Dude, he don't even fucking know. You're a fucking bitch, man. Like, I don't even know.
You're a fucking asshole.
It was not me. You hear me?
Fucking asshole. You. I don't want my vacation home. I don't get paid enough. I only make 400 grand a fucking year. You're a fucking.
Wow. He only makes 400 grand a year. Is he breaking NDA with Mr. Based? That's the real question, Baines.
I just love how he runs past this person and then has to come back like, fucking bitch, Hussein Bolt, all that shit, and freaking come back and be like, I only make 400 grand a year. And I'm like, bitch, I make like, what, less than 40?
Seth said it.
It's interesting to see a lolcow show that actually focuses on lolcows. The original goal of Lolcow Live was to focus heavily on lolcows, and the way they did succeeded early on. They brought in a lot of lolcow, they talked about it, they covered it. But as Lolcow Live went and developed as a show, it went away from that original objective. And when we do get to see a show that talks about lolcow, it actually brings a smile on my face that I really enjoy. I'm really big into lolcow, and it's one of the main reasons why the channel was created as a way to cover lolcow. Now, I would say that because I do heavily focus on Lolcow Live, it does limit me a little bit. Or not a little bit, but it does limit me somewhat from covering other big-time lolcows. At the same time, covering Lolcow Live, in a way, is probably one of the biggest lolcow network, right? And as I said, them covering a lolcow always brings me a smile on my face. Though, I wish they kept doing that. And Cafe actually going out of their way and making a whole episode heavily focused on lolcows really did brought that smile, that what I needed. So this video is less on criticizing them and more just talking about that they actually did the one thing that most people have been really wanting. A show that is heavily focused on lolcow. Though there are other channels that do focus more heavily on lolcow, right? Mainly Kiwi Tape and Smokey MC are the two biggest one that heavily focus, or the biggest one that focus on lolcow. But again, having a show or having a network that original purpose was to really, and I'm gonna say it as it is because it is true, profit off of lolcows. Again, bring a smile on my face.
Whatever, chew. Scamming. I can't. She's scamming everybody like we all knew she would, right? And as Miss Bean said here, $6 grand was paid out. $6 grand was paid out to handle the remains of Mr. Donald. And apparently she did a little bit of a response. She talks about everything. Reddit is such a beautiful thing, isn't it, Beans?
Reddit is not a beautiful thing, but it's good for information. So Tophia is going to talk about the Reddit, the GFM, so the GoFundMe, Brother Chew burial, which is not true because you see here he was cremated, and the scamming.
Yep. All right. Let's get this thing queued up, and let's check out what the lying liar who lies has to say.
Welcome. I haven't been able to make videos because the place that I'm at doesn't allow videos, so I have to go outside. But I need to address this because I'm so sick and tired of people thinking that it's normal for people on Reddit to contact the morgue with my brother's information, pretend to be his family, and then spread lies and misinformation on the internet about me scamming people out of a GoFundMe I don't have access to. I don't know how many times I have to scream or yell or, get it through people's heads. Maybe someone, I don't know, I need to scream in your ears. Some of you guys need to clean out your ears with Q-tips before you start running your mouth, because how am I scamming people out of a GoFundMe I don't have? Do you know that the GoFundMe is stuck in the process session that is processing, that I can't even set up an appointment to bury my brother because people wanted to report it? Oh, whoops, that's why my brother hasn't been buried. Let's talk about that. Because
how does the GoFundMe have anything to do with her brother not being buried? Is because she's waiting on the funds to bury him, according to her?
She says she's waiting on the money to bury him. I'm pretty sure they have payment plans and things like that, because you can't just let like a dead body
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
You can't. So they're either going to give you two options. They're like, you want to do like a payment plan of some sort, or you want to cremate, which is a lot cheaper. Usually that's what happens. But first of all, she says she doesn't have access to it. And then she's saying it's going through the process. And then she's like, well, he's not even buried yet, but we have all this evidence, people calling saying that he's been cremated. So
yeah.
What is it?
No one knows anymore, Beans.
Yeah, I'm just distracted by when she speaks, she has to bite her lip, and she's like, bleh, 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 bleh.
Look at the teeth. Look at the teeth. She has to when she talks, Beans. Now you're making fun of her dental plan, Beans. Good job. All right, good job.
I was talking about her lips, but if you want to talk about teeth, we can also talk about back. Anyway.
God.
My brother hasn't been buried because now it's stuck in processing. Do you know that it takes 14 to 17 days for cremation, and that people pretended to be his family just so they could say he's cremated and I'm not doing anything with the money? So let's talk about the money I spent at Ross and TJ Maxx's. People want to be in my business and pocket watch. You know, I want to say F-U-C-K-E-N, but I can't cuss because TikTok will take this down. So let me show you because since you want to be nosy, you know, my
wait, what? F-U-C-K-E-N?
Like fucking?
down. So let me Maxx's. People want to be in my business and pocket watch. You know, I want to say F-U-C-K-E-N.
Fuck Ian. I think there's a dude named Ian, maybe. She's saying fuck Ian.
Well, the only Ian I know is the same. Never mind. Play the video. Play the video. People want to hear her talk.
What are you talking about, Beans? Huh?
iDubbbz. I'm talking about iDubbbz. Ian is the only that's the only Ian I know. I'm not sure if he covered Tophia recently, but if it's Ian.
How many Ians can one person truly know, Beans? All right, I've never met an Ian in my life. Ian is not a popular name. We're talking about fuck Ian with tophiachu. You're talking about iDubbbz. What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't know. Let's play it.
Ian's iDubbbz name. It's the same.
I didn't know that. I don't pay attention.
Oh my god. Boom report. Boom report. Where is it?
All right, that's enough. Let's into the video.
Now they covered Josh Black and tophiachu. I don't know how you say her last name or her name in general, her username, not her actual name. And then them just kind of going into it, right, is interesting because like they're not like most people who cover lolcow. I feel like you need to be somewhat autistic or have a certain mindset when covering lolcow because you have to be sort of insane or be on the spectrum to kind of just be accustomed to it, or you have to be like somebody who has a deep interest in the psychology of people. And to be fair, Ken and Beans are very much normal people, right? To use the internet term of normies, that's what they are. They're just normies who are in a network that just happen to focus on lolcow. I think if they weren't if they weren't part of the lolcow universe, I don't really think they would cover lolcow. Maybe like Bean's boyfriend Grim would have probably be more interested, but I think like Bean in herself would not. And just seeing the way she reacts and act, and you know, talking about it is it's what you expect, right? It's what you expect normally from most normal people when you talk about lolcow. I've spoken about lolcow a number of times in real life with my real life friends, and they always worry about me because just the intensity and passion I have for it is very much there, right? And then because of it's something so crazy, like there's such a rabbit hole of lolcow that is ridiculous, right? And I really do wish Cafe focus more on it, but I know that's not gonna happen, right? Obviously, as this video is being uploaded and being made, obviously it would be Friday, and the Friday stream, obviously I'm gonna cover it. Though as I'm gonna cover it, I am gonna also add in tests for a particular reason later on.
Saw my brother die, which is weird. Go off, queen. But
it's sent.
It's sent.
Check your message. Check your messages.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Xavier. By the way, seriously, thank you, sir. It means a lot. So everyone can thank Xavier for this being public.
Xavier the goat, the biggest goat that there ever is. I need a goat like bleep or something, goat little soundboard thing. Because we have a lot of awesome people that do things like that on the freaking podcast. We need to recognize it.
They are amazing people. We love them here at the Lolcowcafe. All right.
What's going on, Ken?
What?
Your voice.
Oh, did I hit it again?
You hit it again. You basically sound like the voice that would come out of CYRAXX's mouth. But speaking of
Oh God.
Speaking of CYRAXX, we have a CYRAXX update. Chance admits to being a PDF file again, claims mental illness is the cause.
Real quick. Have you seen the video where he like shit himself with the auto tune on and it catches
Excuse
his?
me?
I gotta find that. It's all right. So let me. Hold on. I gotta find this. Where you at, bro? Where you at? There it is. All right. So I need to hurry up and mute this. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. So he's doing like a karaoke thing. So I'm trying to make sure we don't get none of the music, right? So
yeah. Why he looked like he was baked wrong in God's oven?
All right, so we'll see. So like I said, here we go right here. All right, we'll go right here. If it's like a second of the music, that's not gonna like strike us, right? It's just like a quick second.
We can mute it after the fact, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, guys. This is CYRAXX shitting himself in auto tune. All right, this is probably one of the best videos of this man I've ever seen. All right, here we go. Listen.
Oh God. All over the place.
Oh God, that was just amazing.
Ken, what you got me watching?
A grown man shitting himself. So before that, he was singing and he hit like a high pitched note. He was trying to hit a high pitched note and then he shit himself. So the pressure of the note in his brain translated to his non-pumpkin spice asshole, and he dropped the goods. Beans, he dropped the goods, and he yelled for his grandma/mom.
Wait. Why you say grandma/mom?
All right, so CYRAXX's grandma raised him, right? Because
Okay.
he was born to.
I almost had a heart attack. Okay.
No. He was born to a father who was a PDF, arrested, confirmed. His mother was allegedly, I don't know this for sure, allegedly mentally challenged and underaged.
There's layers to this fucked upness.
Yes. So he was born very early. I mean, very early. I think he was like 6 or 7 months born. So his grandma, which was his mother's mom, elected it to raise him. And she named him Chance because he got a second chance at life. As the story
That is so deep for somebody who
It's so
looks
short.
like that.
It's very deep for a man so short. So I know way too much about CYRAXX lore. Way too much that I probably want.
It would be fun and great to see other shows cover lolcow, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Lolcow Live hasn't really covered a lolcow in a very long time. The last lolcow they had was probably King Cobra, and that whole stream was a disaster. It was just a disaster. It wasn't even good, right? Because it ended up just being dominated by Tina and Becky a little bit and other people, rather than it being focusing on heavily on King Cobra. I would like to see King Cobra on Lolcowcafe because that would be more entertaining, more around his alley, and them just casually like asking him questions and like just them really trying to open the mind, right? It'd be a lot more interesting than what we're getting, right? It'd be a lot more than anything else. But as I said, we're never gonna get that anytime soon. And maybe one day when I have the time, I would like to heavily focus on lolcow and besides the lolcow live universe. But because the lolcow live universe is just ever growing and the channel is ever growing, it makes me realize that I have to focus on this, and I think in a way that's a good thing on my end. Ever so often, if it's something really major and big, I will talk about a lolcow that isn't part of the lolcow live universe. With that being said, till next time, have a good one, be safe, and God bless.